Alrighty, good morning. You all hush silently as soon as we press the recording in progress. But Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the January 2026 ETP panel meeting. I'm going to pass over to staff to do housekeeping first.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for attending the January 2026 panel meeting. Before we begin, there are a few housekeeping announcements. If you are here in the hearing room and in order to avoid a persistent disruption of the proceedings, please do not stream via mobile device or connect to the Zoom platform as it will interfere with our recording and sound system. If you are attending the meeting in person and presenting or providing comment, please step up to the podium and speak clearly and directly into the microphone. For those who are viewing or attending the meeting virtually and would like to make a public comment, please use the raise hand feature and wait for your name to be called, at which time you will be unmuted. When providing comment in person or online, please speak clearly, state your name, title, and the company you are representing, and you will be given 3 minutes to speak. Lastly, to ensure a respectful and professional environment, please keep side conversations to a minimum while inside the hearing room. If you need to have a discussion, kindly step outside to avoid disrupting the meeting. We will now proceed with roll call. Douglas Tracy.
Present.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Present.
Gretchen Newsom.
Present.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Present.
Ricky Smiles.
Present.
Michael Greenlee.
Here.
Derek Kirk.
Here.
Chair Betancourt, there are 7 members present. There is a quorum. Also present, Jessica Grimes, Executive Director, Peter Cooper, Assistant Director, Senior Advisor, Kumani Armstrong, Assistant Director, Chief Counsel, Tara Armstrong, Deputy Director of Technology and Chief Information Officer, Laura Campbell, Chief Deputy Director.
Thank you. Okay, we are going to move to the action to approve January's panel meeting agenda. Does anyone have any amendments or good to move forward?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Can we have a vote, please?
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Thank you. And then do we have an action to approve December's panel meeting minutes, or are there any amendments that need to be made by anyone?
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comments on those meeting minutes, amendments? And we will, looks like there's no one in the room. I'm guessing no one online, so we'll move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Abstain.
All right, so we're going to pass it over to executive reports.
Thank you, Chair Betancourt. Good morning and happy Friday, everyone. Welcome to our first panel meeting of 2026, our 6th for the 25-26 fiscal year. Before I begin my report, I wanted to share that panel member Mike Hill has stepped down from the panel and we already miss him. I believe I can speak on behalf of the panel members, stakeholders, and staff that he has been invaluable to both the panel as well as the policy committee. But of course, we wish him well. As mentioned in previous panel meetings, ETP has 2 upcoming funding opportunities. The first is Seed 3, Social Entrepreneurs for Economic Development program that will provide $7.5 million to support immigrant and limited English proficient entrepreneurs who face employment barriers, as well as worker co-ops. The solicitation for proposal will be open from January 26th through February 26th. The second funding opportunity is Paid Family Leave Small Business Grant, which is in its 4th round and will be up to $1 million to help California small businesses offset training costs when employers are on paid family leave. The solicitation for proposal will be open January 26th through February 13th. For additional information, including application details and orientation registration, please visit our website and navigate to Grant Funds under Funding Opportunities. Now, for this panel meeting, we have one amendment and 26 proposals submitted for review. If approved, ETP will disperse approximately $5.6 million. 50% are from new contractors, 50% are from repeat contractors, 35% fall within the priority industry of manufacturing, 23% originate from high unemployment areas, and 58% represent small businesses. Speaking of small businesses, we have 15 small business projects that, if approved, constitute $2,715,750 in funding to support 2,126 trainees. Today's proposals will be presented for review and action by Jana Lazarevich and Heather Miguel. Additionally, ETP staff will share 3 presentations today. First, Jana and Alina will present the Policy Committee's recommendation regarding updates to the multiple employer contractor participating employer demand list and request the panel to approve the recommended additions. Next, Liz Testa will present the revised CNA to LVN guidelines for panel approval. To conclude the presentations, Jana will provide an informational update on a temporary pause in the Cal eForce application submittals. That concludes my portion of the executive report. I will now hand it over to legal to continue. Thank you all.
That would be me, panel members. Good morning, Mike Cable, staff attorney, here to discuss our legislative memorandum, which you have a copy in your panel packet. As you know, we are in the second year of our 2025-2026 legislative session. In your panel packet, you'll see that the first part, the first few pages, is just a recap from year one. We provided just those bills that were vetoed, those bills that were actually chaptered, so you could see what finished from the last memorandum. And then you'll see it's a rather short memorandum because we just started introducing bills. So there are a couple items in there. I'm not going to talk too much about them. Just to let you know that the last day for introduction of bills, I believe, is February 20th. And our next panel meeting is on February 27th. So I suspect the next report will be more robust than this one. I guess if there's any questions, let me know. But another notice that if there are any bills or anything that you see going through and you want us to identify those and keep track of those, just drop us an email or a line and we'll make sure that it gets included in that. So other than that, that concludes my portion. And I will hand it over to
That would be me.
that would be her. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome panel members and stakeholders. I'm Laura Campbell, Chief Deputy Director, and thank you for the opportunity to provide a summary of the Employment Training Panel's funding. Before we begin, I'd like to share 2 updates to our finance team. First, I'm excited to announce the promotion of Marcella Loza to Finance Section Chief. I'd also like to welcome Chris Sathry, who is joining us as our new budget analyst. Please join me in congratulating and welcoming them both. Today's panel is for approximately $5.6 million. That includes 12 approved delegation orders for a total of $652,672. Delegation orders are proposals capped at $75,000 and approved under delegated authority by the director on a continuous flow basis. If all the approvals scheduled for today's panel meeting are approved, the panel will fund 26 projects for a total of $5,606,730. We have 213 applications in demand. 92 applications are currently in development. 31 applications are in eligibility review, and 90 submitted applications are pending review. Including today's proposals, we will have approved 224 contracts for a total of $65.2 million, which is 64% of the total allocation for the state fiscal year 25-26. Together, these proposals are projected to train 57,984 workers in various industries across California. Since our last meeting in December, ETP has successfully closed 7 contracts, resulting in $1.7 million earned by contractors. 817 trainees successfully completed their training and met all retention requirements. Of these contracts, 1 was a multiple employer contract, 2 were apprenticeship contracts, 2 were single employer contracts, and 2 were small businesses. These results show the real impact of our work and how our investments have strong outcomes, diverse partnerships, and meaningful impact across the workforce system. Thank you. I would like to hand it back to you, Madam Chair, for the next topic on the agenda.
Thank you. I think we're going to proposals. No? Am I missing one today? I'm having a day of it. Why? Are we on policy committee first? The presentations are at the end. Yeah, that's why I didn't think you had anything on policy, because that was December. And Liz is near the end, correct? Am I missing it on the agenda, or have I got it? Do the action items at the end, yeah. So we're on panel packets.
Sorry, that's me.
It's all right. I'm having
We
a
will move to tab 1 for Bellows Plumbing, Heating and Air. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $315,840 in funding to train approximately 141 workers. Training will take place at their locations in Campbell, Novato, and Sokol. Representatives are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, everyone. I am excited to see you in person. I am a ETP COVID baby, so I saw you all on Zoom for multiple years. I recognize a few. Gretchen, Ricky, thanks for coming back and hearing us out for our third time. My name is Chelsea Schlunt. I'm one of the owners, second generation of Bellows Plumbing, Heating and Air. We provide, just what we said, plumbing, heating, and air in the greater San Francisco Bay Area. This is our third proposal, hoping for our contract here. Please know, before we launch into questions, how grateful I am. This is transformational for my company. And in between, when my contract ends and I'm calling Jill saying, when's my next one? I noticed we dial back training. This is a vehicle to keep my team educated. The workforce in California, the expectations for green energy, electrification are demanding, and this helps me meet those goals. So thank you to all of you on the panel. Thank you to Phil. Thank you to Nicole on Zoom. If you're here, you're great. Ask me anything you would like.
I'm not going to say careful what you ask for on asking questions, but does panel have any questions? You never know what they're going to come up with.
Welcome back. It is a pleasure to see you. And
Likewise.
Jill, thank you for bringing them back. And thank you also for the higher wages for the construction industry. Really appreciate that you've come back to us with that. I did notice, though, that you have a very high number proposed for productive lab hours and 40 hours of productive lab training for 70 workers or 70 technicians.
Yeah.
It's a pretty high number. Just kind of comparing your contract with other contracts. If you
Absolutely.
could speak to that and why it's so high.
Absolutely. That's a great question. Thank you, Gretchen. What we do is complicated. The Bay Area has a lot of old homes, and there's not a lot of new building, as we all know, unfortunately. So we're retrofitting homes. We're going into crawl spaces, into attics. There is every brand of furnace installed ever in the history of furnaces and air conditioners in the Bay Area. It's hard to train that in the office. I need to do it in the field. The way we structure our teams is we have an apprentice with a lead, and our goal is when that new green person comes in, we train them in the field. We teach them how to do the job with the goal that they will have those higher wages, that they will become a lead themselves. It's the model that we use in our industry. It works great. And it's a great opportunity for our guys to learn from the best in the trade. So I know it's a high number. I respect that question. I would love to get it because that's how we train our people.
I think you just said something that I'm surprised you didn't catch it around apprenticeship.
Oh, I know you don't like that word. No apprentices in my company, just
That one back
people
over
who want to
there.
learn the trades.
Say it one more time.
People who want to learn the trades.
Okay, so it's not apprenticeship.
No, it's not. That's just, yeah, that's
Maybe someday it will be
maybe will be one day.
incorporate apprenticeship.
Maybe, yeah. No, what it is it's a two-person. We have a lead and we have like a junior installer who's training. Thank you for catching that. I appreciate it,
Very
Rebecca.
We do like to have you eventually transition to
I know
having your
you
folks
do.
into an apprenticeship.
That'd be
program.
cool.
So,
Hey, Gretchen,
yeah.
I have tried for 6 years to get an HVAC company in your area as an apprenticeship program, 6 years. And it's, as you know, that's a political thing with construction trades. I have a lot of clients that would love to have a residential program. So if you can push that, say, hey, let's look at some of these. I'd really appreciate that because these guys would love to be.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just as long as there's no apprentice
There-
in that.
there are no
We're good. We
apprentices
had training. We
in
had
this,
training.
in training.
That's the the only fan. And I think actually on Productive Lab, they've continually had the same kind of hours. I was looking back as we were talking.
Mhm.
You have a lot of Productive Lab in all of them because of the type of work, and it makes sense, each uniqueness on that way. All right, any other questions from anyone on panel?
Motion to approve Bellows Plumbing, Heating and Air, Inc., contract number ET 26-0236, and the amount of $315,840.
Second.
Thank you. Do I have any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And they look like there's none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor. The motion's adopted. You're funded.
Thank you, panel, for all you do.
All right, moving along to tab 2, CalSpec Enterprise Inc., DBA California Bath Restoration. This project has withdrawn from panel this morning. So we will move on to tab 3 for Cover Technologies Inc. They are a new contractor. They are designated as Respond, having been affected by the LA wildfires. They are requesting $392,000 to train 70 workers. Training will take place at their location in Gardena, and representatives are here to answer any questions.
Are they here?
Cover Technologies?
We'll go search. We'll move to the next and
Okay.
then come back.
Okay, well, the next tab is tab 4 for Holders, Air Conditioning and Heating Inc., DBA Holders Air Conditioning and Heating Frontier Plumbing, and they have withdrawn. So,
It's totally thrown
yeah.
me, hasn't it?
yeah, so we'll move on to HP Hood, which Jana will present.
Good morning. We'll move on to tab 5. This is a proposal from HP Hood LLC. They are a repeat contractor with good performance, requesting $495,040 to train a total of 260 workers. Training will take place at the company's 3 facilities in Sacramento, and representatives from HP Hood are here to answer any questions.
Hi, good morning. I want to thank the panel for considering our request for ETP resources. HB Hood is really proud to be requesting training funds to upskill and develop our team members. Training and education have always been important to HB Hood, and we want to support our growth in California and our ability to be a major supplier of dairy products in the Western United States. Thank you.
Thank you. Does panel have questions? I just have one, and it's more of a curiosity. I look at prior contracts, I look at now. We're at a sizable jump from one contract to the other. What's driving, I'm going to say, the growth or the need for the greater training?
Besides the day-to-day education for our employees, we are building a new warehouse, which will be adjacent to our property. It'll be double the size of what our warehouse is currently so that we can produce more products. We're also building a standalone blow mold building, which will be able to produce our own bottles, which is going to be exciting, will help us with the vendors that we have currently. And then we are also putting in a new HTST machine, which is a processing machine for milk.
Fantastic. So a lot more skill building.
Yeah, a lot of skill building. Do you have an estimate on the number of new positions that'll be created or number of new jobs roughly?
I don't.
It sounds exciting.
It does.
So-
It sounds like a great
Sorry,
growth.
don't,
It sounds
Good for
yeah.
you.
Sounds like a good feel and a great growth, and like dairy is a growing industry. It's kind of good.
Yep.
All right. Any other questions on this proposal?
Just give my best to the Teamsters. Motion to approve HP Hood LLC in an ETP funding amount of $495,040.
Second.
Thank you. Any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there looks like there's none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
So we're all in favor. The motion's adopted and you are funded. Good
Thank you.
luck. You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, we'll move on to tab 6. This is a proposal from Mariani Nut Company, and Mariani has withdrawn from the January panel meeting and plans to return to a future panel meeting. Tab 7 is MBKT Corp. Doing business as Pacific Coast Home Services. They have also withdrawn from January panel meeting and will return to a future panel meeting. Next is tab 8. This is a proposal from Reach Air Medical Services LLC. They're a first-time contractor requesting $598,780 to train a total of 329 workers. Training will take place at Reach and their affiliates locations throughout the state. Please note there is a slight correction to the veterans narrative. We need to include that their recruitment plan also includes participation in the Transition Assistance Program and also the Department of Defense Skill Bridge Program. And we have representatives from Reach here to answer any questions.
Good morning, members of the panel. My name is Al Daniel. I'm the Director of Standardization and Training for Reach Air Medical Services. We also have on the Zoom, our Director of our tax is Peter Frenchman. And then our coordinator, James Wynot, that is en route to this facility right now, was actually held in the air due to the dense fog. And so he should be here shortly. But I'm excited to be here in front of you. I want to thank you for the time for allowing us to come and present this grant proposal to you. As you may or may not know, we operate an air ambulance company. It's a highly stressful environment that provides a high quality of service in a demanding arena of training. And I'm happy to be here and answer any questions you may have.
Thank you and welcome. Any questions from panel on the proposal?
I love what I'm seeing here in your proposed contract, and I was just curious, how did you hear about ETP?
I learned about ETP probably about a month ago through our process, through our tax director, and they reached out to me and come to speak to you folks as I'm the director of the training for our pilots. And so they asked that I could come here and be in person to meet. So it's a wonderful program. It provides additional opportunities for us to focus on expanding the high level work that we're doing now. So it's really exciting to be here. And I've learned a lot over the last week about the program. So it's nice.
I really appreciate the higher wage range you have for the paramedics specifically. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any other questions from panel?
I don't have a question, but I'll just really appreciate the participation in this Skill Bridge program with DoD. I had a chance a couple of months ago to tour a Skill Bridge training program in San Diego County, and it's one for being a state that has as significant a number of active duty military personnel and a significant amount of veterans. I would encourage more companies to look into partnering on this. It's a really incredible way to, one, provide service to veterans, but also to keep this workforce in California. This really highly trained and really robust workforce. So thanks for that.
No, you're welcome. Thank you. And just to echo that for you as well, I have actually witnessed that myself with pilots that are coming out of the military, and they're able to transition right into the company. So before they actually retire from the military service, they get the training, and then when they come right to the company, it's like a turnkey product and they're ready to go. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's an amazing program.
Excellent. Motion to approve Reach Air Medical Services LLC, contract number ET 26-0239 in the amount of $598,780.
Second.
Do we have any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there seems to be none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Right, so we are all in favor and the motion's adopted and you are funded. Good luck.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, next up we have tab 9. This is a proposal from Taylor Listug, Inc., doing business as Taylor Guitars. They are a repeat contractor with good performance, requesting $414,540 to train a total of 329 workers. Training will take place at their location in El Cajon, and representatives from Taylor Guitars are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, panel members. It's nice to be here. My name is Richard Saldi. I'm the training manager at Taylor Guitars. been there for 28 years and I started on the production line. And it's just a testament to our training and our development. I'm here to answer any questions.
Any questions, comments from panel on the proposal?
If you could elaborate for me specifically on wage progression for your workers. So I'm seeing specifically the production staff, that's the most folks that you have training, a wage range of $22.17 up to $75 an hour. And I'm concerned about the folks that are in this middle column as it's presented to me. There's 87 of them that are stuck in a wage range of $20 to $25 an hour. So if you can speak to me about when they would anticipate going into that third column of $25 and over.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question. So we, over the last couple of years, developed a roadmap, a career roadmap. And so through training and skill development, they'll move through a tiered system of wages. And so they can expect it when their performance,
And is there a performance review annually or every 6 months?
Great question. So we do have an annual performance review, but you can move through the tiers and career path at any time. So if you advance to the next career path level, you can advance into the salary tier.
Okay, and is that salary tier like approximately like you've worked with you for a year, you've gotten new skills, how much could you anticipate increasing your wages?
So it's a range, right? Some people will get there at the top of their tier within a year or two.
Okay.
Others may need a little more coaching and may take a little more time. It really is performance based, so it's hard to really put a finger on that.
Okay. So this isn't your first time at this rodeo. This is going to be your fourth contract, I think, if not more.
This is my first time.
This is yours.
Yes, absolutely.
But not the company.
Not the company.
So I would just ask if you come back before us again to have some of those kind of personal stories as to your workers that have received this training, the wage progression that they've gotten, and what it means to their family.
I mean, I can tell you some stories. I can tell you my story.
Tell me your story.
I started when I was in my early 20s. I was a single father. Taylor actually brought me in, trained me on their production line, saw some potential in me, sent me to SDSU for a lean manufacturing program where I got a certification. From that, I took a personal goal to graduate, and I graduated with the bachelor's. And that whole time they worked with my school program and everything. And through training in the company, I advanced to where I'm at now. I manage the whole training team, both in the United States and Mexico and in Amsterdam. So it's
Excellent. Thank you so
yes,
much.
of course.
I think as I'm looking at, as he was speaking and then looking at the proposal, a lot of it's about a progression over 12 to 18 months, isn't it? They're on a 12 to 18 month cycle.
Yes.
You review, you increase, and then the training continues to the next one. So it's like almost that annual cycle. Is it employee driven or is it based by business demands?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions, comments, and panel?
I will say and then make a motion. The governor's California Jobs First Council had a chance a couple of months ago to travel to San Diego and meet with some of the leaders with Taylor Guitars and appreciated the insight and the input. And anytime you are going to support and grow California jobs, as much as we love our Mexican counterparts here instead of there, I will gladly jump in and support. So with that, I would move approval of the Taylor Listag Inc. DBA Taylor Guitars ETP contract number ET26-0242 in the amount of $414,540.
Second.
All right. Do we have any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there's none in the room, so we should move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
All right.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You are funded. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is tab 10. This is a proposal from Van Brothers. They are a repeat contractor requesting $166,600 to train a total of 170 workers. Training will take place at their headquarters and affiliates location, both in Williams. Representatives from Van Brothers are here to answer any questions.
Hi, good morning. My name is Marlene Velasquez. I am the Human Resources Manager for Van Brothers. Currently, I oversee human resources, payroll, and health and safety, as well as managing our training programs. Van Brothers is a vertically integrated company who is located in Colusa County. We employ a number of employees and
Does panel have questions or comments on the proposal?
I would like to first start off what I've already touched upon. So the wage progression, you've got 35 folks that are being compensated less than $20 an hour, and then 25 of the orchard staff that are $20 to $25 an hour for the 35 that are less than 20. Can they anticipate getting to 20 and up?
So when employees first start, they have a performance evaluation at 30 days, and there is an opportunity for 1 to 5% increase. And then once again, there's an annual review and there's an opportunity for another 1 to 5% increase. This is based on performance. And the training funding would obviously help us with the training programs that we would be basing that performance off of, which is new learned skills. Currently, we are also bringing in more automation. So there will be more opportunity for advancement for them as we bring in new trainings, new technology, and they could advance in their careers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just like a quick calculation, if somebody's coming in at $18 an hour and they max out at a 5% increase, that's a 90-cent raise. And that's like still not enough to survive in California. So I need you to move the wages higher as you proceed forward. So it's a deep concern of mine.
Any other questions, comments on the proposal?
I'm not done yet.
I don't think you were,
You
but I'm
didn't
just
think I'm done
checking.
yet. I know.
she's
I'm like, I gotta
thinking.
wake up.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know she's thinking. That's what I was like.
I'm thinking, and I'm looking at the rest of your proposal. This isn't your first time around, and I'm noting under prior projects, last time around, you were approved at an amount and you only achieved 64% of it. And the time before that, it was only 88%. We love our folks to always reach like 100%. Like that's awesome. And we feel really good about that. And then we start to get concerned when we're seeing kind of low performance on achieving the dollars that are being given out. So what makes things different this time around?
So this time around, we have had some changes within the departments that were overseeing the management of the program, as well as in our orchard operations. So that is one big change that has happened. And we also have always met the hours, over 8,000 hours. So we are training, we are trying to give our employees new skills. So what we have changed is that we do have a better method for tracking the training. A lot of it kind of fell through the cracks that way, where we were conducting the training hours, but we weren't capturing them accurately.
Okay.
So with this new system that we've implemented, it makes it really easy for us to be able to see like when training is coming due, like this is due soon, this is where you're compliant, this is where you need to start doing this training again. So that really, I think, is a new process that will help us moving forward, being able to better capture those hours.
Excellent. I'd also like to hear from your subcontractor on what's different and how you're aiding them this time. Because I think you've been with them for a while, okay?
Yes, every project.
Yeah.
And yes, the first one was more successful. The second one, not as much I think what happened, in my opinion, was they got real busy and started making a lot of internal changes. And the folks that were monitoring the project internally kind of took the eye off the ball a little bit. And it was a bigger ask probably than it should have been at that time. And then Marlene came in and really straightened it up, but we were kind of behind the curve at that point. So here we've gone to right sizing, less dollars than previous requests, less hours than previous requests. So we've kind of taken that all into account, and with her in charge now.
Okay. I'm glad to hear you're in charge now. It's concerning though, sir, that you're going to be awarded 13% of the earned amount. I need you to step up more for them, make them more successful.
Will do.
Okay.
Any other questions? You took where I was going,
No-
so
no more
it's all right.
statements.
I let question go the way she was going this morning. It's all right. Any other questions?
Motion to approve Van Brothers contract number ET 26-0244 in the amount of $166,600.
Second.
Any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we're all in favor, the motion's adopted and you're funded. Good luck.
All right, next up is tab 11. This is a proposal from Wilbur Curtis Co., Inc. They are a new contractor requesting $124,320 to train a total of 111 workers. Training will take place at their headquarters in Montebello. Representatives from Wilbur Curtis are here to answer any questions.
Good morning, members of the panel, ETP staff and guests. Thank you for the opportunity to present before you the proposal for ETP funding for Wilbur Curtis. My name is Enriqueta Murillo. I am the HR director. I've been with the company for 5 years now. I have a small handout just to provide a visual, if it's possible to hand it over. So our company, Wilbur Curtis, is a manufacturer of professional coffee equipment. We have been providing professional beverage solutions for our customers for over 80 years. You may not have heard about Wilbur Curtis before today, but you have most likely seen our products at your local mom and pop cafe, at your favorite fast food drive-through like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A, or on your latest road trip at a convenience store. Our product is proudly assembled in the city of Montebello by employees who have demonstrated an extraordinary commitment to the company. The average service tenure for a Wilbur Curtis employee is 14 years, with a couple of employees recently achieving over 40 years of service. The company is committed to providing employees with wage progression opportunities through annual reviews, and that is followed by merit reviews. The company is also committed to developing employee skills through cross-training to enhance promotion opportunities. Funding from this program will strengthen the company's training program and enhance the company's agility to respond to customer demands for innovative products with new technologies. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. Any questions, comments from panel?
Motion to approve Wilbur Curtis Company, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $124,320.
Second.
Any public comment on the proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there's none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, so we voted all in favor. The motion's adopted. You're funded. Good luck. And we hope to see you back at some point.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, next up is tab 12. This is a proposal from First Software USA, doing business as Oxford Institute of Technology. They have been withdrawn from the January panel meeting and will attend a future panel meeting. Next up is tab 13. This is Professionals and Human Resources Association. They are having they're still on the plane. They're on their way now. There was a trouble with the plane landing due to the fog.
Great fog, yeah.
Same with cover. Yeah, so we're going to move them to the end,
Yeah,
see if
so
they're
hopefully we can
here.
get here.
If need be, we could do the presentations if they're still not here. So we'll just kind of, yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
So we'll go on to tab 14. This is a proposal from South County Economic Development Council. They're a first-time contractor requesting $180,930 to train a total of 150 workers. Training will take place at their 2 training vendors locations in Chula Vista and National City. And representatives from South County are here to answer any questions.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Jim O'Callaghan, President and CEO of the South County EDC. We service 6 communities in southern San Diego County. A large portion of our communities fall into high poverty rates, low education rates, low access to good jobs. One of the things we found recently was that working with our automotive dealers, they were struggling to find technicians able to service the next brand and technology of cars coming forward. So we have partnered with Southwestern College and some of our other partners to bring forth a program to help retain incumbent workers in South County and give them the skills to grow into a career path. With that being said, we are looking to also increase the wages for those folks and keep them from having to commute, which is about an hour and a half out of South County on a daily basis. Here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from panel or comments?
Motion to approve South County Economic Development Council, contract number ET 26-0238 in the amount of $180,930.
All right. Any public comments?
There are no public comments online.
I believe we have any in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy,
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
So we're all in alignment. We've approved the contract and you were funded.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, we are moving to tab 15. This is an amendment for advanced integrated pest management. They are requesting to add up to $4.55 in bonuses and commissions to meet the post-retention wage. Representatives are here to answer any questions from panel members.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Zamwich. I'm the Human Resources Manager for Advanced IPM. I've been there for 5 years, and I'm grateful for you guys to review this and hopefully approve us being able to add some of these bonus structures into our minimum wage requirement.
Thank you. Any questions or clarity or comments from panel?
I'm on the record for, I really hate wage compensation that's based off of bonuses, that's not providing kind of a stable set wage that I know the worker can rely on. And if you're like dipping below what that post-retention wage was, that's implicating to me that those workers might be suffering through for things. So I'm not really happy with this amendment. And do you want to speak to more as to their compensation practices and how your workers are doing well?
Yes, please. I would absolutely love to speak to that. I understand your concerns with it. The way our technicians are paid right now is that they are given an hourly wage and then they do production. So if you have pest control at your home, you pay a revenue based on your services. And so the technician performs those services and he is bonused for that service every single pay period. So every technician, that's their main focus of their job, they all receive this bonus every single pay period. I did analysis over the year and the average hourly rate based on the hours they worked was $15 an hour that they received in that production bonus.
I'm sorry, so it's $15 an hour plus what's the base wage?
$20 an hour.
Okay, so it's $35 an hour.
Yes.
Thank you.
It goes beyond that. Yes, there are some people who've been with us for a long time. They produce a lot. They have commercial clients. The highest I saw was 58. They received $58 an hour in their production bonuses only. Yeah.
Just to clarify what you just said, so all of your technicians receive that bonus, the $15 minimum, correct?
It's the $15 not minimum. That's the average.
That's the average.
There is newer technicians who don't have a large route. I've seen it at $3 an hour, whereas we have technicians who've been on for a long time. They have large routes. It's been up to $58 an hour, but the average for the 90 technicians for service technicians was $15 an hour over the year.
And I guess, can you provide some clarification regarding why it's bonused instead of maybe putting that on to the wage if all of the technicians are receiving that in some aspect?
So we have done an hourly model before, and we looked at the rates around the area, and typically it's between $23 and $24 an hour is the going rate of pay for an hourly service technician. And when we went to that model, we found that we saw a very big decrease in production and an increase in hours and motivation. And so our employees are much more motivated on this production-based model. We did increase their wage. It used to be minimum wage. And when we switched around, we said that a base wage of minimum wage is just not appropriate. So we moved it up to the $20 an hour mark so that at least we're getting that no matter what. And then based on how much production they do, they can get up to, a certain amount. We have some technicians who make well over $150,000 a year right now. So It's depending on how much work they want to put in, and there is no limit to how much route that they can get. We always have work.
Can I just ask a question of staff? Because I want to make sure I'm really understanding the situation. This came in, some of these occupations were already listed, but we weren't countering in at the time any of these bonus structures because we were using the medical benefits to bring them up to the ETP wage of, I think it's 2024 when they were awarded this contract.
That's correct.
Now we're finding that where employees are opting out of medical benefits,
Yes.
they're not meeting their wages. So
Yes.
we're now trying to make up the
Supplement.
wages through the use of this.
That's correct.
So for whatever reason, the employees aren't taking it, it's therefore we're having to use this to bring it up or not fund them at all, correct? On
correct.
their wage, because
Yeah.
we have to use every employee who's coming through on the ETP minimum using the 250 has to be making that. It can't be 50%
Yeah.
of staff are using it,
Right.
50%. I just want to make sure I'm clear
Yeah.
on the criteria as to why this is being sought.
That's a,
I still don't get it though. Like if the base wage is a minimum of $20 an hour, then why are we seeking to approve $4.55?
so the way I'm understanding it, to Chair Betancourt's point, is that there are some folks that the company thought would elect health benefits, whom did not. Or what we could also see is maybe they're not utilizing the full 250 of health benefits, right? So we allow up to 250, but the company must actually pay up to 250 in order for us to use that much. So if they're only using $1 or however it shakes out, that's all we can supplement with on the backside. To your point, Gretchen, it does appear that there are likely some that maybe need a little more than the 250. But one thing I will say is that based upon the wages in here, like the actual wage that every person should receive would be $20 an hour. So that should be the base wage.
So the base wage would be 28.5 in job 2 and 22.
Yeah.
something in job
The other thing is that there are multiple counties included in this proposal, some in Santa Clara, which go up to 2460.
Yeah.
So, that's why we have that 455 in
That's what I
here.
was
So
trying to make sure
their
we're being
base
clear.
would be around 2005, and then we would be supplementing.
So we approved it with healthcare benefits. If
Correct.
the employees back in 24, we approved it that if the employee is receiving healthcare benefits, these are the wages that were approved, including healthcare. We didn't then, so the approval process was that. So if they're not receiving healthcare benefits or opted out, is probably the right way because they're full-time
Mhm.
and they're being offered those benefits. So they opted out. Those are the employees that we're trying to recoup based on the bonus structure.
That is my
Correct.
understanding.
I just want to make sure we're all clear about what this amendment truly is asking for. So I guess my question is, how many of these employees, how many of the contracted employees are you looking to seek the bonus structure? Because I think that might make you feel a bit better that, the base pay that we approved back in 24, how many of them are truly at that base pay? And how many are you asking to, say, rely on that bonus structure to bring them up to the post-retention wage that was approved by panel back in 24?
And I didn't do the county by county analysis, but I think it was about half were at around 20 to 22 that would need
So
the
we're
additional.
looking at about, I think it's, my math's right, it's just shy of 250 trainees. So we're looking at about 50%.
That-
We're asking for
approximate.
that. Yeah, about 125. Greenlee.
Yeah, I do have a question if I'm wrapping my head around this. If you're using the 250 of benefits to meet the post-retention wage and they opt out of it, why not just pay them the 250 that you're using to pay for the post-retention and bring them right back up to the wage rate? Where does that go if they opt out of the healthcare? Where does that money go that you're using to meet that wage, that 250? Do they get it on the check?
No, they do not get on it.
No, so they're then saying, we don't want the medical coverage. So the employer then is just not paying their share of the medical coverage is.
But if the employer is automatically giving that medical coverage using 250 and they don't want that medical
No, you-
coverage, why don't you just give the 250
We
to
don't
the
use it
worker?
as 250.
And then you.
No, the
you
cap
still
is
meet that
250 in
post-retention
ETP.
wage.
We don't automatically apply a 250. That's not an internal process that we have of a $2.50. That's an ETP minimum that was,
Okay.
we pay 75% of the employee's benefit elections.
Yeah, so the 250,
To 250
We-
on the base
we-
pay.
yeah.
It's not in the employee's pocket. It just helps them meet that wage because they're giving them that benefit.
essentially that's the ETP allowance.
No, it's super confusing because you're
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Hey, yeah.
About this before, I'm like, where are we getting?
I appreciate the questions.
Yeah,
It's good.
and and if I could just speak for a second, our intent, and I know we're at the close to the end of the contract, this was not our intent to dump this on the panel. And as a fact, for me, 12 plus years of doing this, I've never had to do an amendment. So this was something that through logistics and the way that we collect data and it's reported, it was discovered about halfway through as we enrolled trainees. I said, wait, why are these wages not what I expected? And we found out that the wages, some of the wages had included this in the data we received. And then when I discovered it and enrolled trainees, I said that this isn't adding up. So then we started having the conversations and discovered it. And we went straight to staff and said, hey, this is what's going on. We produced all the reports that show that they do get it every period. They're not selling, right? They get it based on whatever they're servicing.
It's based on work assignment.
Yeah,
by the
whatever
time.
somebody else already sold. So they're not there selling or anything, but it was logistically just planning what panel meeting can we go to, all, all of this. We didn't mean to dump this on you at the last second. I'll own that, but I'm glad I discovered it through the project versus at the end, when it's too late. But that's why we're here now and asking.
Yeah, and it's a base pay model that you then get paid per work assignment versus some where you, having read up on different bonus structures, there are some where they give you a base pay and then you get a bonus structure, but you get a minimum receiving regardless of the work you're assigned, or you may get more. But the challenge here is it's based on work, and the minimum wage may not get you higher than the ETP minimum wage, ETP wage that we're asking for if they have not taken healthcare. So it's a work assigned bonus. It's not earned based on commission. It's literally assigned on the work that they're doing. Okay.
Right, and I'm just gonna put into the record, 'cause this is my vote for today. And I understand everybody else is gonna have their own vote, but it's gonna be mine. So ETP Regulation 4418B states a panel may use commission earnings to determine a trainee's hourly wage for services rendered in the sale of goods or services paid to employees whose principal job is sales. That's where I'm gonna be at today.
And I read that as well several times, and I don't know if in its commissions, right, is the language in there, and I don't know that we term these commissions on internally. I mean, maybe we're apples, yeah.
The technicians can earn commissions as well. It's not a main part of their job, so they can sell. So if they're servicing your home and then they see that you have rodents as well, they can say, hey, you have rodents. Would you like us to set traps? If they say, yes, we'd like to set traps and we have a proposal, they can get sales commission as well. That's not what I'm asking for in this meeting, but they are eligible to get that as well. This is a bonus structure based on production.
So it's based on it's based on work demand, not on a sale. I think the ones that we've approved in the past have been more around sales based, hence the legislation of how it reads, or the regs read.
Can I ask, of the workforce that you have, and given this structure, which to me feels less like something you came up with randomly and more like the market for pest, I'm assuming like this is the way the pest management industry is operating. How many of the workers are actually just making the base pay? Like it doesn't sound like anybody's just making the base pay, right?
No, their whole job is to service pest control. So every day they go out, they are getting a bonus based on how much they do. There's no one who does not get a bonus that is a service technician.
Yeah. Okay. I will acknowledge it feels like I'm intrigued by the industry wrapping their minds around like why this would be the model and how this would be the structure. And I certainly wouldn't want to manage the accounting on the back end in human resources for this. And like, I think I have a level of comfortability knowing nobody's actually just making the base wage, right? Like they have the opportunity to, or they have really the mandate if they want to keep their job to be making more money through servicing homes. So.
I just have a clarifying question to ask, and this is based on the average amount that you said. So you said, in fact, the base wage is $20. You average $15. Your amendment details mention that you would like to use, let's say, of that average, up to $4.55, because in both job 1 and job 2, you have field technicians. So technically, folks could make more, right, based on their bonus or commission. But what you're asking to do for accounting in order to make the post-retention wage is to use, this is just an example, $15 minus $4.55. So you're kind of, let's round it up to about $5. So you'd use about 5 of the 15, if that makes sense, for some of the field technicians for job 1 and job 2. Does that make sense?
That's
Are you
correct.
tracking with me?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
doing math in my head to kind
No,
of,
You're
do you
100%
see what
right.
I'm saying? Like,
And the
so-
reason we picked 455 was
Yes.
because some are making 20, but
Right.
a lot are making 21, a lot are making 25.
But it
So
works for both job numbers because you have field technicians in 1 and you have job technicians or field technicians in job 2 as well. And so I
Well,
think I did the math right. That's why it's up to $4.55 because it'll be different based on the average.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, because
I
of the
agree with you,
county-
Derek. The accounting's kind of interesting, but yeah, I
And it's
think,
because of the counties, because, they have a lot in Sacramento County.
Right.
Which you would need 455, but in Santa Clara.
that's why it's fluctuating. There's a range here.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
In addition, if I may, this is a project that had the job creation program component that we no longer put forward included. And part of that, old program component that we had a little bit of a lower wage to encourage job creation. So they are backing into the commission structure. They're using what they need to meet the minimum wage. This is not saying that they aren't making more in commissions. This is what we need for all of the trainees in this contract to meet the minimum wage, which is why it's that 455. So, and to your point, Dr. Grimes, Santa Clara and some of these Bay areas have a little bit higher wages than some of Placer and the other counties they've included.
So I guess on my tracking here, I'm going to ask a question over this way. You had estimated 39 in job creation. Remembering the job creation is often, the entry-level employees, so they're at the lower wage. How many of these using commission do you believe will be job creation versus incumbent workers?
So let me clarify. So we're getting new hires in, we're training them up, and then they
under
are
that job
starting on this
creation, new
model.
hires, unskilled or new to the job versus those who've been with the organization who, from what you said about the whole pitter patter, was those that are newer don't have as many on the routes, those that are more seasoned have a bigger route, have more jobs. So how many are you believing are coming through as new hires that we're asking with this amendment versus how many are seasoned workers that are coming through with this amendment in your numbers of you said about 50% you're asking for? What percentage is job creation and what percentage is incumbent workers?
I don't know if I can give you an exact percentage. I will tell you we're in growth mode and we have retained 60 new technicians in the last year. And a lot of the training is the first 2 weeks, right? So we are getting
So you put in those 60 in this contract?
none of the new ones because, yes.
I'm so sorry,
That's
panel.
okay.
I misspoke on this. This is requesting these bonus and commission structures for job 1 only. So
Okay.
incumbent workers.
So we'll
However-
forget my
however, I know, I'm so
a
sorry.
way to get it around this way versus.
Look, my boss was like, no.
Good angle there. If you were working it out, you
I
worked
was-
it out where I was going.
The other thing though, there is the base minimum both in job 1 and job 2. So that is tracking with the 455 structure. However, we are only asking this for sales and field technicians. So
Okay, so it's only on
apologies.
incumbent
I got
workers,
ahead
more
of myself.
experience.
Yes.
Yeah, so the
thank
more
you.
experience you have, the greater routes. Okay.
I mean, and you could get, if you really wanted to get granular, because you didn't want to open up to everybody, right? You can look at, okay, how many in job 1 actually need it? And then how much per county? Santa Clara is going to need 4.5, Sac may only need $1.50, so we could get that granular with the data if that would make the panel.
I was really hoping we could have got it under job category 2
Madam-
and job creation, and it's not going to happen because that's not
Madam
what it's
Chair.
for. I missed that bit. I was really building that case because that made the most
Madam
logical
Chair,
sense.
I think legal is trying to give us some insight, if you don't mind.
I do not want to provide insight, but I have a question.
He's looking at me.
I was just wondering because as I was hearing about this program, and I was struggling too, because sometimes it sounds almost like a piece rate, maybe
Mhm.
not per bushel, but by per yard of what have you. So that's where I think some of the just like it's
Mhm.
happening. My question though is because we are talking about the worker and the worker's expectation. Is there an employee handbook? Is there a written policy that describes what this payment structure is? Because oftentimes an employer will have a written description of its policy. So perhaps there's a writing.
Yes, we do. We have a handbook and we also have the pay plan structures with examples and worksheets for all of the employees so that they understand exactly how they're getting paid and where they can see their production.
Because I do get a little lost in when I'm hearing the dialogue and to me, the devil's in the details
It is.
and I don't know, first things first is I'd want to look at that written policy to find out exactly what the program entails.
And we did provide that, again, another reason why it took a little longer to get to panels, because we provided those to staff. They were reviewed in detail, probably ran up the flagpole with management. And we provided two, which one, and correct me, I'm not on your end, but one was bonus and one was commission. They reviewed them all. We tossed out commission because bonus we felt was a stronger case because we know we don't like commissions. So we just went with that. And yeah, we provided those back in May. And I think everybody felt comfortable that these employees are getting this money every month, no matter what.
And then as I was hearing a member Newsom's comments about it, that's where it sounded like is the triggering event to be a sale, but then it seemed to be more per quantity, which then takes me back into piece rate. And then my mind starts to get scrambled. So
Yeah, and what
thank
is
you
there
for
on
letting me
piece
share.
rate?
Can I ask, of the people that are getting this additional compensation, what you made note that you have some field techs that are making $150,000 a year. What is the average rate that these individuals are taking home on an annual basis?
Oh, I could give you I
Sure,
don't
yeah.
have it
I promise
on
I'm not
me.
going to hold it to you.
But
Exactly,
what
but
most, I do it usually hourly, not so it's not per, but most of our technicians are making anywhere between $32 and $38 an hour. I do it every single pay period. I take what they made and I try to figure out what their hourly model is because I give those reports to their managers so that they know what their employees are making and how much they're producing. And that's typically the range. So if you multiply that by 2080,
Sure, yeah.
then that would be
Totally.
the annual for that.
I mean, I will double down on, I would never want to be managing the accounting and it makes me nervous to try to ask staff to manage the specific elements here. This to me feels like, I think Dr. Grimes used the words, we're backing into something, even though the wages are far greater than what we're needing to back into on the math piece. So I'm comfortable making a motion unless, Madam Chair, there are other questions.
And anecdotally, if I could, I use their service and have for years. And I've had the same guy, Matthew, come out to my house every month for years. He doesn't work any faster and he stops and talks to me. He doesn't upsell me on anything. And I'm just saying, I've seen him operate and that's why I felt comfortable coming before you guys because they're not selling, they're not working faster and there's no safety. I don't see any, I sit there and watch them spray around the house. I don't see them working faster and creating a safety issue. So just anecdotally that.
I want to pick up on one thing that was mentioned by council, and that's around piece rate versus what Gretchen pulled up. I just want to make sure, is there anything about piece rate in the regs or? Because I think that's where you're about to go, correct? Is like that highlight of around piece rate in bonus structures or commission structures versus commission. Is there anything there? Because that may help if there's something in there. Because it's not commission.
I'd hate to speak on that like knee jerk without doing a little homework to that answer.
You put it out there. I'm just saying.
But that was because that's what I was hearing. That's why I didn't know the nature of the program. It seemed like we were shifting back and forth between a discussion of a sale versus then quantity. And then
it feels
I go
like
to easy
quantity versus sales. That's why I want to make sure because I think that's your big.
Historically refrained from encouraging piece rate, like period.
Right.
Like the workers deserve like a base wage that they know they can rely on and they can survive on. And if you want to pay them more, great. If they want to go and earn more than that, great. But at least I know that they're earning that base wage. And this is a safety factor with what they're doing, the pest control and the impact of the chemicals and et cetera. Like I'm not going to get too far into that, but I'm a firm no on piece rate.
But I do think to Derek's point as well, there is a wages coming in. It is a complex math that none of us want to be doing. As long as that reported wage is meeting ETP, and staff are going to have their ways that they track this with the contract. It is going above the ETP minimum, whether or not, I feel bad that we're penalizing here where an employee says, I don't want to take health benefits because for whatever reason, they're not taking health benefits, and that's them
Well, then why
penalizing
then-
on their wage, on their minimum wage of it to meet ETP's minimum requirements. I get there's uncomfortableness of what's their base wage, but there's also a piece of, what's the reason why they're not taking health benefits? There's multitudes of reasons. And I think it is a bit unfair that, we have another way of bringing in the wage to meet the ETP minimum wage without utilizing health benefits. There's many companies out there who say, I don't want to use health benefits. There's others that say they do, that we are still meeting above that wage, even without health benefits. Because what I'm hearing, you're fairly confident that every employee would meet the minimum ETP wage without health benefits, but you put it in there just in case if their commission was low during one period in the 90-day retention, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Very confident.
I will move approval of the amendment request from Advanced Integrated Pest Management ETP contract ET 24-0237, which has an amount of $316,560.
Second.
So I have a first and I have a second. Do I have any public comment on this?
There are no public comments online.
All right. And do I have any in the room? Does not look like it. So we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy,
Nay.
Jennifer Fothergill,
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom,
No.
Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
So the motion is adopted as we are aligned in a quorum to approve. Yep, you are able to do it.
Thank you very much. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
your time.
Thank you. And I personally apologize for dropping this on all of you guys at the last minute, and valuable lesson learned. And thank you very much.
Amendments are hard.
Okay, panel members, the representative for Cover Technologies is here, so we will move to that project. So again, tab 3, Cover Technologies, Inc. They are a new contractor designated as Respond, requesting $392,000 to train a total of 70 workers, and representatives are here for questions.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair and panel. I'm Alexis Rivas, co-founder and CEO of Cover, and we build all steel fire resilient homes in Southern California. Apologies for being late. The flight was grounded for 2 hours at LA. We design our homes using advanced software, manufacture them as floor, wall, and ceiling panels on our production line in Gardena, LA, transport them, and then rapidly assemble them on site into complete homes. This requires skills that don't exist in conventional construction. Driven by the LA fires, orders have more than tripled in the last year, and we completed the fastest homeowner fire rebuild in Los Angeles. We're completing the first home in Altadena right now, getting it to the homeowners, getting them back into their home, and we're going to do that at scale. We're trying to grow to meet the demand. ETP funding will allow us to accelerate training across our expanded team, drive above industry wage growth and retention, give our technicians and our staff careers building homes, many of whom have never built homes before, and get fire impacted homeowners back into their homes sooner. Training is tracked and operationally owned by Berenice Campos, who's here with us today. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Berenice Campos, and I support our organization on the human resources front. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you. Some amazing work being done in the LA region and helping rebuild. Does anyone have questions on this proposal? I don't know if anyone else wants to. I look at this, it's a very aggressive, I'm going to say, training plan on hours, on number of employees. We're looking at pretty much training everyone plus growth. small organization. Can you help us build the confidence of how are we going to do this between we've got to be building homes, we've got classroom training, we're not really looking at productive lab. So how are you making the time to train 200 hours over a 2-year period, every team member plus the additional temp to perm that you had of like, I think 25? Can you just help us understand how you plan to achieve that? I'm going to say very aggressive training plan. I love it, but like, it's a lot.
So, I think for some context, our homes, we take care of the entire process from start to finish: permitting, engineering, design, manufacturing, transport, and assembly. And so there's a lot there. There's a lot to take care of across the entire team. We found that just on the installation, the on-site part where the panels get transported and then assembled, we found that it takes approximately 600 hours of training to get them to kind of the state where they can operate fairly independently. Right? And this is something that we've been doing with one team. We doubled our team size last year. We want to do that again this year. And so we are already investing heavily into training. And what we want to do is accelerate that and create more dedicated time, because the only way to scale up to meet this demand is training. It's necessary for where we're at. So it is a lot, but we have to do it.
Because you have a lot of, and I question this because you said something and it made me think of productive lab rather than classroom training. So you have it all under classroom training or virtual instructor-led training. There is no computer-based training in this proposal. There is no productive lab time, which means this is like formal classroom instruction. Or the way you just explained it to me was it was very much sound like they were out on the job site doing it versus that classroom. And I just want to make sure you're successful in the right type of training to meet the training plan that you have.
And so we have that divided into various, so we have an R&D space with a home, right? We have scheduled usually 2 to 4 hour blocks of time where we are already doing classroom training, or they're shadowing and following in a classroom format with skill matrices, a lead or a technician that's more skilled, that's at a higher level, right? That they're following through and repeating and doing the measurements and then going in R&D and doing an install, taking something apart.
So you have that like laboratory, like what I would call a classroom lab in a welding lab, for example, not on the job, but in a classroom controlled environment. You have part of that as part of, that's really what you're doing in this training plan, not out on the job.
Correct.
Okay.
And so now when they're going out on the job and they have a buddy, right, they're with them, but they've already done it.
So you have a controlled environment area that is not manufacturing real life. It's part of the, you learn, you go, you learn, you do, sort of like, I think of like a welding class. You learn the theory, then you go into the lab to do the welding, versus I'm going out to the job and I'm actually manufacturing it on the job, side by siding with someone, correct? That's the training you're looking to cover is the first example, not that second on the job.
But wouldn't you want to cover the latter though? Like they've got the thing manufactured, they're now installing it at the site, they're paired with a master technician, we'll call them that, side by side. So then they're in the field and then they're doing, and we would call that productive lab. I can see you don't have a subcontractor on this that didn't maybe encourage that.
I just want to make sure they get the right funding. I think there's part of me that's like sounding like I'm hearing a bit of productive lab in here that may help them achieve for sure the 200. So we just want you to be successful. It's a lot of hours. And I'm like looking at this going, all classroom, should there be an element of productive lab in the way you're explaining your training? I'm like, maybe there should be 40 hours of productive lab and 160 of classroom. Go on.
Okay, so you mentioned 600 hours. Was that in 1 year?
That was in approximately 6 months.
Okay, so you're coming to panel for a portion of what you actually need to do, and you're asking for panel to cover what will happen in the classroom.
And by doing, we haven't done the classroom hours. The 600 hours that I mentioned were not classroom hours. A portion of them were, but not all of them. And so what we want to do is, we really pride ourselves on delivering high quality, fire resilient homes. we want to accelerate the quality side of that learning by not doing it in the field and doing it in our R&D, 20,000 square foot R&D facility under close
So you
supervision.
want to do less actual on the job and doing it before they get out there in a
That's right.
controlled environment rather than and having the skilled worker out there doing it whilst you're training. I'm not going to call them the unskilled, but the trainees. So you're able to do two pieces of work at the same time rather than combining the two. You're looking for an efficiency, I think, in
We're
the
trying to
approach
get
that
our
you're doing.
homes built faster with exceptional quality, right?
Yeah, by
And-
focusing in the classroom, the lab, in the learning and safe environment rather than on the real, which then you don't need the productive lab component, but yeah. Any?
I will just say we need faster.
You're saying 200 hours is too long.
No, well, no, I'm thrilled. I mean, I'm glad that you all are investing this much in training, and it's exciting to see. And I have the privilege of supporting the governor and the governor's senior advisor for LA Recovery on home rebuild. And there's massive need out there for every type of possible housing development that we can see. And so, supporting companies like yours, I think are exciting, at least for me personally, and thinking about the long-term opportunities and the workforce that you're building. So that's me.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Any other questions?
We're just trying to be more helpful to you.
Make sure that you're successful with it.
Yeah, like that's rare. I'd like to make a motion to approve the Cover Technologies, Inc. in an ETP funding amount of $392,000.
Second.
Any public comment on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
Any in the room? All right, we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Aye. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Congratulations. We're all in favor, so the motion's adopted, and we look forward to hearing success.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we will move on to tab 13. This will be the last proposal. This is a proposal from Professionals in Human Resources Association. They are a repeat contractor with good prior performance, requesting $849,928 to train a total of 811 workers. Training will take place, Professionals in Human Resources has 17 locations throughout California, and training will take place at their participating employers' locations statewide. Representatives from Professionals in Human Resources are here to answer any questions.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chairperson and panel. Thank you so much for considering our proposal. My name is Liliana Arguello, and I'm a director at Professionals in Human Resources Association. We go by PIRA. I'm proud of the performance that we've had on our last 4 contracts. We've been at 100% or close to it. Our current contract, we're at approximately 99%. I know it may not reflect in the paperwork that you have, but just yesterday I got an update on that. We are an association of human resource professionals that reside throughout California. We have subject matter experts that are part of our membership that provide the training, and we also work with a training partner. And we are backlogged with our training. So we know we've asked for the max. We've been backlogged on training since October. And actually we see continuing demand. We're seeing that our organizations are needing a wide range of training from Lean Six Sigma. Most of our organizations are in the manufacturing area to technology training. Right now with AI, we need that AI fundamental training and everything from that to Excel intermediate and advanced. We are really proud that our organizations are using this training to grow their leaders and help them get into different salaries. And also a lot of them are growing rapidly, so they're hiring as well. So thank you again, and I'm here if you have any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from panel? I think the only thing I have is I mean, we always talk about this when we see it, audit findings, not a lot, but like, can you help us understand what you've put in place to stop those kind of things, like not having ineligible employees come through, et cetera? Because you had a couple a while back on an audit finding.
That
I mean, it's an oldish audit finding, but I don't think we've seen it in a panel pack. It's from several contracts ago, but they take a while to come into the panel packet. So just really, there is a piece in here about an audit finding that's from 21. It's interesting, but where you didn't meet the wage requirements for a few, and a couple were not eligible. It's just really, what are you doing to ensure that your employers are sending you the right people that do qualify?
Okay, so we are definitely more focused and working more closely with our contacts, which is usually the human resource or training and development person, to qualify those people in advance. I'm not sure that we've had the issue in the last contract, but I can go back to my team who's looking at that to make sure that making sure that's not going to happen again.
Fantastic. Any other questions, comments?
Like that you're a nonprofit, and I'll just leave it at that. And make a motion to approve Professionals and Human Resources Association in an ETP funding amount of $849,928.
Second.
All right. Any public comments on this proposal?
There are no public comments online.
And there are none in the room, so we shall move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen
Aye.
Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kerr.
Aye.
Alrighty, so the motion's adopted. You are funded.
Thank you so much.
You're
Have a great
welcome.
day.
Move on to
You guys, isn't
presentations.
it? Yeah, presentations, I think.
So first one, I'll do the presentation on the MEC participating employer demand list. There's a memo in your panel packet on this as well. So the ETP Policy Committee has been working on updating the MEC applications to ensure all necessary information is included for the panel's review. At the August 21st, 2025 Policy Committee meeting, the committee discussed new indicators for the participating employer demand lists to address gaps. The participating employer demand list, or what we call the PE list, is completed and submitted by the MEC applicants, and it provides information on employers intending to participate in the MEC's contract. So this topic was referred to the application proposal work group for further review and reorganization. At the December 2025 Policy Committee meeting, the Policy Committee recommended revisions to the PE demand list prototype and recommended the addition of 2 items. First being notification of inclusion statement. So this information notifies the panel that the listed employers have been notified of their inclusion in the proposal or contract. And we also included an industry drop-down list. So this information will show the panel the employer's industry, and this data field is a drop-down list that is the same that is on the application. On the memo, you'll see a sample of the prototype. And so we're here today to get a panel vote to approve the Policy Committee recommendation regarding the PE demand list to add the statement of notification of inclusion and include the employer's industry.
All right. Does anyone have any questions on this or comments?
So moved. Oh,
Can I think it's great. Why does the panel have to vote on an amendment to the application? Is that historic precedent that we've voted on amendments to the application, or is that required?
Do you want me to take this one?
I'll let you take it.
Yeah, so the policy serves as a subcommittee of the panel. So whatever is approved there, then the panel approves, and then it becomes like the policy.
Okay.
It's just,
I'm not opposed to this and will gladly support it. I just, in my vein of
It just feels weird sometimes when you're voting something. It's not
Why-
actually
yeah,
changing
like-
a reg, but it is a piece of
it's a piece of paper.
policy and a piece of paper.
Yeah.
It isn't a formal, but yes, I know what you.
Yeah. Okay.
We have to. I know.
We all have our pet peeves.
These two. Okay. Do I have any? I think I had a first over here.
well,
Second.
formally, I make the motion to approve this.
I'll get trouble over that.
Second.
You left if there was a question about motions. Okay, so do we have any public comments on this?
There are no public comments online.
And none in the room. So we shall move to vote. And Gretchen's going out with the chocolate. But we're moving to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom. Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
All right. Fun.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I know. I was like,
Whoa, whoa,
really?
whoa.
Oh gosh, we're getting there. It's the end of the day. Okay, or the morning. I'm not sure which, but we are all good with this one.
Can I just say you're saying it's the end of the day. It's also, I think, the earliest panel
Careful,
timing
careful.
that, I want to be with you all longer.
Chair Betancourt, it is 11 a.m.
I know.
Not quite actually, so.
It's just been a very long morning already. Okay. I know. It's gonna be. All right, so we're all good with this one. We're now moving to the next one.
I believe the next one is for Liz Testa, the memo and action item on the revised CNA to LVN guidelines.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can.
Morning.
Good morning.
Excellent. I do have a memo. I can display it if you'd like, or I can just speak.
I think we have it in front of us, Liz. Just speak.
Just speak? Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year, everybody. So I'm here to request an action item to approve the revised CNA to LVN guidelines. As you know, we've been engaged in a comprehensive review of all of our pilots and guidelines through the policy committee and with panel's help. At the last policy committee meeting in December, committee reviewed the CNA to LVN guidelines. These guidelines provide information on how to support and include this population in our contracts. Policy committee did approve moving the guidelines to panel for full approval, which is why we are here today. I do want to just say the few things that were changed in the guidelines were the following. We did a general cleanup for grammar and formatting. There had been an incomplete reference, like a floating reference to productive lab, which had been in the guidelines in error, so that was removed. And we also simplified the reimbursement requirements to match the standard ETP reimbursement scheme. There's a draft of the revised guidelines in your packet as well if you'd like to review them. And with that, I would like to request an action item to approve the revised CNA to LVN guidelines.
Thanks, Liz. Any questions on this from anyone?
So moved to
Good.
approve.
Second.
Second, any public comments on this?
There are no public comments online.
Oh, there's one, maybe two members of the public. We have no comments in the room, so we'll move to vote.
Douglas Tracy.
Aye.
Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom.
Aye.
Rebecca Betancourt.
Aye.
Ricky Smiles.
Aye.
Mike Greenlee.
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
All right, so that's been approved.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Liz.
All right, last item, presentation on
Are we all good? All righty. Okay.
All right, next up is the presentation on temporary pause for application submittals. This is for informational purposes only, so there'll be no panel action item on this presentation. So ETP will temporarily pause the Cali Force system from accepting new funding applications. This temporary pause will begin at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on April 23rd, 2026, and the system will reopen to accept new funding applications at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on May 1st, 2026. This is a 1-week temporary pause. This is going to allow ETP to implement any fiscal year 2026-2027 changes related to funding allocations and/or priority industries and initiatives, which will be voted on by the panel at the April 24th, 2026 panel meeting. Current applications, on April 23rd, 2026, any applications that are in submitted status will be returned to in draft status. These applications can then be revised and resubmitted once the application window reopens in accordance with the new fiscal year funding allocations and priorities. Any applications in eligibility or in RO development status as of April 23rd, 2026 will continue to move forward in the process. They'll be developed and considered based on eligibility, priority industries and initiatives, and funding availability in effect for the fiscal year which they are presented at panel. And again, as I stated before, this is just for informational purposes only. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions on that? Are you looking that this will be an annual thing, that we'll do a temporary pause for a week? So it's kind of like, this is the FYI, this is going to happen every year now going forward to ensure compliance. And that's like, okay. So all of those contractors out there that are listening, I don't know how many we still got online, but I can see a couple in the room. This will be the annual process going forward.
It makes a ton of sense and I appreciate the heads up. Can I ask, it is to implement new legislative guidelines?
No, at the April panel meeting, the panel will vote on new fiscal year funding priorities, initiatives, things of that nature. So it'll give us time to implement that into the system for the applications moving forward.
Thank you.
And it then helps you to sort them going forward, doesn't it? Rather than having them all over the place.
And with the legislative guidelines, I mean, those usually come out with January. So we're rolling those out separate and parallel to this because of the legislative requirements and mandates.
Yep, great.
Alrighty. Nothing else from you guys, correct? I'm just checking. All right. So we are coming to that stage where we are nearly at the end. Public comment. So it is time for public comment for any matters that were not. Oh, actually, before I do that, any items for future meetings from panel members for the agenda? Wasn't sure, but I nearly forgot that. So nothing from anyone. So we will move to public comment, that time where you will have 2 minutes for items that are not on the agenda. I can see Mr. Herrera is willing and raring to go at the beginning of the year, so I will give him the podium before we go on to see who's there.
Thank you, Chair, members of the panel, Philip Herrera, Herrera & Company. I want to take this moment to personally thank and recognize Dr. Mike Hill for his service on the employment training panel. While Mike had to step down last week for health reasons, those of us who love and support him are confident in his full recovery, and we look forward to seeing him back in the fight very soon. Mike was appointed by Governor Newsom in 2021, and during his time on this panel, he made meaningful and lasting impact. He was a strong and thoughtful advocate for training programs in advanced manufacturing, whether employer-sponsored, through the community college, or through the apprenticeship model. He understood that building a skilled workforce requires multiple pathways and a willingness to invest in people at every stage of their careers. Beyond his role here, Mike worked closely with a variety of organizations, helping them build leadership teams, set clear strategies, address complex workforce development challenges. What stood out to me most was that Mike never approached his work as abstract policy. He left that to me. He saw the people behind the programs. He truly believed that everyone deserved the opportunity to learn a skill that leads to a real career in advanced manufacturing, and that most people only need to be encouraged and supported to take that first step. On a personal note, Mike was not just a colleague to me, but a friend. I will deeply miss his insight, his steady presence, and his contributions to this panel. His passion for workforce development and his belief in people will continue to influence me and the team at ETP long after his departure. Thank you, Mike. I know you're listening, for your service, your leadership, and your friendship. We are grateful for all you have given and wish you strength and good health in the days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Phil. Any other public comment?
There are no public comments online.
2 points of personal privilege.
Yeah.
One, just to echo those remarks about Mike Hill, fabulous panel member to work with, utterly in gratitude to him and his wisdom, and wishing him the best. And then secondly, if the Point Loma High School poli-sci class is listening, happy birthday, 18th birthday to my son.
Just in case they are. No, and we will miss Mike certainly, and it's going to be hard to find a replacement. So we'll, yeah. Okay, so no public comments online. And does not look like any more public comments in the room. So I'm looking at panel.
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I better roll call it. Come on.
Douglas Tracy, Jennifer Fothergill.
Aye.
Gretchen Newsom, Rebecca Betancourt,
Aye.
Ricky Smiles,
Aye.
Mike Greenlee,
Aye.
Derek Kirk.
Aye.
Alrighty, the motion's adopted. It's 11:04 and we are adjourning this meeting. We'll see you in February.